Hi, this is Sarah, and I am presenting my Demo Day 1 presentation on my project titled The Savvy Student. When I was researching a problem that kind of impacted my daily life and impacted the people around me, I found that money was kind of a source of stress for many of my friends and my peers who surround me. And so I found that that was a problem that affected daily life. I did some research on saving money in America and why this is an issue. What I have found, one thing I found is that millennials have about $2,400 in savings. An average American household has just $4,800 in savings, just average numbers, and 1 in 4 Americans have no emergency funds saved. This is a big problem. A lot of Americans can't even handle an emergency if that were to happen in their life and they can't pay for it. The reason for these problems is because people don't know where or how to save money, and they don't have enough money to save. I was searching to find a solution, and I have come up with creating an Instagram account and a blog that will work together to achieve my mission statement. My mission statement is to educate college students, specifically Miami University students, about the importance of saving money and give ways to achieve productive spending/saving habits. I will do this through creating an Instagram account and blog targeted towards Miami University college students. They'll use frequent posts with a range of topics about money, saving money in college, and for your future. My goal is for them to be extremely visual, very consistent under one brand image, interactive for the user. I feel that that's the best way to get users engaged with your content, is to create an interactive way for them to work with it. And the Instagram blog will be closely intertwined so that they really work together well. This is the branding that I've come up with so far for both my Instagram and blog. It's called The Savvy Student. As you can see, here's my color palette. I really wanted it to be fun and exciting, not boring colors, but then some green because this is going on with having to do with money, so I definitely wanted some green in there, but I thought this was a pretty visually appealing palette and I can work with it a lot. As you can see throughout the presentation, I've been using it, and just in these logos that I've made mock-ups of, you can really show that there's a lot of different ways to use these colors. This is the Instagram account that is up and running. So far, there's just been one introductory post. I plan to add the blog link in the bio once that's 100% complete. So this is just the start of it. And some ideas for Instagram. Tuesday tip of the day is something I really want consistent, just short tips on how to save money. This could include tips around Oxford or just in general. Testimonials from either students, parents, professors, business owners. I would reach out to them in a really productive way of explaining to them my project and asking them to contribute with some reliable information. And I think from professors specifically, they can really provide a lot of credible information to students. Also, I'd love to partner with local Oxford businesses. I think it'd be really fun to do interviews with business owners and show how you can find deals around their store, or kind of what days to come in to get the best deal on what kind of food. And also the goal would be to do giveaways through them and give an incentive for Miami students to follow and like the account. I also have ideas of doing like pictures of books or websites that people should read, recommending them, travel photos if it's related to budgeting, and a lot of promoting the blog. I also want to work a lot with Instagram stories. So some of my ideas for this would be a lot of polling, yes or no questions, and open-ended questions that gets users engaged in not only reading the content but sharing their own opinion or what their own spending habits are. Instagram stories promoting blog posts. Another idea is kind of good deals on Oxford finds, just little things around the town that maybe don't require a full Instagram post. So here's some examples of some Instagram stories. This one on the left is promoting a blog post, obviously, and the one on the right is an example of a polling question, like which describes you better, do you buy your coffee out or make coffee at home? A really easy question for users to answer and get them engaged with the content and think about it. So for the blog, I have a lot of ideas for the blog, which the goal is to be more in-depth posts, a few that are really long informational posts about some ideas are importance of saving for retirement even, saving in your 20s, the importance of credit scores, various credit cards for college students. One fun idea I have is to make one of those quiz charts that they have in a lot of magazines today, where users look at the chart and you answer yes or no questions as you fall down the chart, and at the bottom it leads you to an answer. And these would be pretty informal. Kind of like one idea I have is, are you good at saving your money or do you need a little help? And then it would ask questions such as, do you buy coffee at home, or do you buy coffee out, or do you make coffee at home? Yes or no, and it would lead you down the track to kind of what the answer is, and then give you tips for how to improve. So these are some other ideas. I have a lot of them. These are just a few. This is what the blog will look like. So I have a mock-up of this created, and I'm working on adding more to it. I'm working on the About page, adding really detailed information, and it'll be closely related to the Instagram. So of course the Instagram will be shown on the homepage. So I conducted a literature review before really diving into creating the content. A lot of research I conducted was with books, websites, and articles. There's so much information on this out there, a lot on American spending habits and college students. One thing I really wanted to look into was how much your genetics affect your spending habits, because I find that extremely interesting. Only 25% of people are born with a self-control gene that helps when saving, but there are ways to combat this gene if you don't have it. So I think that this was something I was really interested in. I wrote that down. Like how much your genes impact you more than your upbringing, and just kind of finding ways on how it's best to educate college students on saving money. I then conducted a competitor analysis. Here's a few screenshots of a few that I looked at, both Instagrams and blogs. What I found with these Instagrams were that, actually the next slide shows what I've learned, but a lot of these are either just an Instagram or just a blog. I didn't find any that were linked together so closely, so that mine is planning to have the Instagram of more short pieces of information that's engaging and interactive, while the blog will be in-depth informational, which I think will work well together. Here are my key takeaways. Interaction is key, obviously. I really hope to have users click something or answer something with a lot of my content. Visuals are so important. That's what catches the eye of the user and makes them want to look into it more. Manageable captions. I found a lot of the Instagrams I looked at had very long captions, and I tried to read them and I couldn't finish the whole caption because they're too long. And so I think for Instagram, it's really important that's where the short pieces of information go. And relevant topics is definitely something I want to stay focused on, is that there's so many ways you can go with this, but I really want to focus on following my mission statement with the topics. A few problems I've encountered include finding both reliable and relevant sources together. So I found a lot of reliable sources, but they might not have relevant information, and vice versa. So that was something that I struggled with during my literature review. Branding and username took a bit of work just because I really wanted the color palette to align with what I was thinking in my head and the username. And of course you have to work with Instagram on getting something that's available and not taken, but I did achieve both of those. And now I'm kind of solidifying my content calendar and how frequent I want to post. So I plan to do a little bit more research on what the best frequency of posts is for this type of account that you want users to be engaging with. You don't want them to get sick of your posts, but you really want to add a lot of information. This is my next steps. I highlighted kind of where I'm at. I've done an introduction post. I've created a content calendar, but now I really need to fill in the content calendar, create the actual content and visuals, and then begin normal posting. And this goes throughout the rest of the semester.